welcome back to the Forge Alliance for Retard series with your host Nibelosky, bringing you some absolutely tip-top player action on Setton's Clutch. It has been quite some time since I've done an actual proper cast on Setton's without involving Average Joes or me, as it were, for my Christmas special. Just a few points of business before we begin. First of all, many of you might have noticed I have uploaded a different game onto my channel, which is Evolve. At the moment, the pilot episode of it is going to very much stay that way, unfortunately. My computer, as good as it is, can't seem to cast at 60 FPS, or 30 FPS if that matter, and play Evolve simultaneously. It's too hard on the processor, which is only an i5. So I'm afraid at the moment I'm going to have to figure out another way of perhaps doing different games and so forth. But to my Forge Alliance fans, that won't actually mean a lot, because of course that's why you watch me, is for these replays. In any case, down to the real business at hand. We're going to call these guys up here Team 1 as always, and the guys at the bottom, Team 2. Really big players in this game, so we'll meet the players in Team 1. First of all, down here, going in pink and Cybran, we have Softly, which I can imagine he's not going to be playing Softly at all, but the pink matches certainly the name. To his north, playing Beach Navy, it is Bladir, regular occurrence on casts. He just seems to creep into casts quite easily, Bladir. He's a very watchable, entertaining player. He's also gone Cybran, and he has also gone land. And to his rear air position, it's Pachuriko. You might be noticing a bit of a pattern here in T1, also going Cybran, also going first land, despite being that rear air. But from what I understand, I'm not too sure about the FAF runoff times, but I don't know whether the air factory and the land factory are that different anymore. But in any case, he has gone first land and is also joining the Cybran Club. And last at the bottom, playing, goodness, it's not Beach Navy, it's Coast Navy? I'm not sure what this position's called, actually. I've heard it said many times, but I've forgotten, it escapes me. It is Blackheart, being the only different faction on Team 1. He's gone Seraphim, and biggest, well, I think he's the biggest ranked player in the game. Yes, he is. He's still on 2,400. And he's decided to go a lovely orange colour. So in any case, that is Team 1 all wrapped up, and we go down to Team 2 down here. Opposite Softly, it is going Seraphim, Laneless, matching Blackheart's Seraphim choice. So there's a couple of Seraphim players in the game. Up here in limeish green, in comparison to Laneless's sort of dark, smudgy green. It is GalaticFear, feared galactically apparently, and also going Seraphim. It seems to be a very Cybran, Seraphim-dominated game, this one. Down at the bottom here, there we are, going UEF is Foley, and he decided to go white, or very regal looking. And rear, my apologies, rear guard position out the back. Also going Seraphim, so it's Seraphim, Cybran, and one UEF player. The last Seraphim, and he's going rare, is Pascal P. I'm never particularly sure of what the P stands for. Maybe you can put that in the comment section. But Pascal P is going Seraphim. In any case, if we bring this back up to speed, we'll go +3, because these Setton's games always take such a long time to go. For those of you, for whatever reason, if you've never watched a Setton's cast before, typically the map is split into, well, I say 4 separate battles. If you look at the centre of the map, we'll see 2 commanders converging. The reason for this is the reclaim in the middle. If any of you have watched my instructional sort of video, you'll know that reclaim is a very important factor at the start of the game, and that is typically why both commanders seem to go for it at the beginning. It allows mass upgrades earlier and tends to get your foot through the door in terms of economy far quicker. And fairly obvious to see, we have 2 naval players at the top here, 2 naval here at the bottom, and the rear guard positions tend to throw out air. So in any case, we zoom in, see who gets the majority of the reclaim in the middle. We do have a Mantis and a Mole, running down the side. Mole often giving a great advantage in terms of being able to see what's coming. Softly getting the centre Salem Wreck to begin with. We'll slow this down a bit, just to +1. That Mole and I was gonna say Salem there. That Mole and Mantis picking off a few extra bits and pieces. Engineers coming into the middle. Softly looking as if he's getting the majority of the reclaim. I'll have a look at the count once we are finished. Lanel is deciding he's more interested in the Titan Rex. A cheeky tham there from Softly, eliminating a engineer trying to reclaim for Laneless as well. We have a look and have a look. Softly, in terms of reclaim, managed to get 4,300. Laneless 3,300. So it does look as if Softly has come out the better man there, coming from this northern position. Offers them that little bit of advantage. You see there's a few scout units out in the form of interceptors as well. As of yet, I can't see many naval units. Interesting to see that not only is the North Island taken by Team 2, the southern island, I say probably more easterly island, but has been taken there as well. Always got to be careful in these games with commanders, as was evident yesterday actually. Need to keep a close eye on your commander at the front, because more often than not you can find yourself perhaps caught out unexpectedly, having taken so much damage in the reclaim battle. Looks like as if Softly's managed to get the better of Laneless at the front guard position. Got a few units creeping up here as well in the form of Zuis from Laneless and a few Mantis at the back from Softly. So the battle commences. Always have to be careful with, as I said, creeping into the yellow. And Softly quite far forward. I don't think he's under any risk really at the moment, but he does have to be careful. He's going to dip his toes into the ocean, having been, because those Mantis are going to have to stay there. Being brought down quite considerably into the yellow now. He's going to dip into the red if he's not careful. It's 2,800 hit points, dodging a few Zui shots there. So despite getting the majority of the reclaim, it does look as if Laneless has managed to dig his heels into the land bridge. I'm not sure whether Softly should have gone so far down. In any case, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. I'm sure there's a reason for it, probably sacrificing the mass gain for Commander Payne. I have to put these catchphrases down in a book somewhere. Nice coverage from Galactic Fear over his pond. Bladir sending out flying eyes to see what's going on. Let's have a look in terms of Team 1's perspective. Yeah, got quite a few number of units there. And seeing Galactic Fear's commander at the moment, looks like he's putting up a Tech 2 P-Gen. We go back to our normal view. Quite a considerable amount of units. Softly's commander having grabbed himself back onto the land bridge with the company of Mantis and a stream of T1 air scouts beaming up from Pascal P. That's the thing I always remind people of, is that when you're watching these games, take note of the amount of scouting that is done. It's a lot. And that's why they seem to know where everything is all the time, these big name players. I can't say that anything much has happened so far. Courier taken out there by Blackheart. Still having not actually managed to grab the island down here. I don't know how I missed this. Really cheeky. What Foley has done is that he's decided that he's going to get a naval factory right at the front there. He's got an anti-air turret to prevent any bombing runs from coming in as well. Despite there being two naval factories up here, he doesn't actually have any down in his pond, so he's gone straight for the front. Straight for the front indeed. Talk of RAS, which is the resource allocation upgrade for the Seraphim Dominant Team 1. We have a look down here. Can't say that it's looking particularly good, despite him being very good with the mass at the start, it's looking as if Softly is outnumbered and outgunned at the front. He's knocking up, from what I can see, a Cerberus turret there, which is going to be able to range him. Outrageous range on these Cerberus turrets. Unfortunately, just out of range, although he's going to pick that one up. Ooh, if he's not careful, yeah, absolutely nails a FAM as it comes into range. It's a very creepy, annoying thing about Cybern units is that just when you think you've got a foothold on somewhere like a choke point or a land bridge, the Cerberus turrets are able to outrange and slowly but surely melt anything that you're pushing forward. Does look as if Blackheart is not having any of the cheeky Foley upward naval tactics that he's managed to put out here. Although that Thunderhead class managing to find its way into Blackheart's harbour, I don't think he's going to have that factory sitting there for long. And oh my goodness, if we bring this back to speed, has Bladeer not seen this? He doesn't see this. How on earth has Team 1 not seen this? Galactic Fear's commander, there is a bit of anti-air there, but Galactic Fear, balls to the wall, his commander going... Where on earth is that commander going? They have seen it, definitely. Where on earth is he going to drop that cop? He's going for the eastern side of Bladeer's base. I'm not too sure what... look at Galactic Fear's commander. Has he gone battle com on that? He has the Tech 3 upgrade. So it looks as if Galactic Fear said, sod the naval game, I'm going straight for the heart of Bladeer. But despite the copious amounts of Tech 1 point defense, I'm not sure whether that was a great idea, to be honest with you, Galactic. Because although he has indeed dropped on Bladeer, it is not just Bladeer he's going to have to consider. He does also have Pachuriko to the right of him and Softly to the south, and we cannot forget Blackheart to the south as well. We're going to get a split screen for this. Is it the home button? Yes, it is. I got it first time this time. Miracles do actually happen. And keep an eye on this battle down here and the the expansion of Galactic Fear at the top here. This is an outrageous tactic. He's got Tech 2 shield gens popping up, land factories. This is zero speed as well. This is real-time speed that we are watching this game in. Softly diverting all of his forces to the back, leaving his commander right at the front here, pretty exposed. Laneless's commander with the attack missile upgrade on his back, sort of harassing, I'd imagine, some mass points. I don't know where that's going. Is that going there? It looks like it's going there. So it looks as... Oh, Softly's commander... He's very dangerously withdrawn everything to deal with this problem from Galactic Fear. I can't believe Galactic's managed to get this proxy base up so quickly. But keep an eye on Softly's commander in the left-hand screen as well. We'll zoom out and see what Galactic has to fend off, which is, I would say, quite a number of units. He has got the Tech 2 Seraphim shields, which are notoriously hard to tear through. Softly being pushed back by the forces of Laneless on the front lines. Pachuriko coming in for a bit of the action as well. I'm not sure Galactic's going to get out of this, but we will see. We will see whether or not this tactic... I'm always interested in seeing tactics like this. Have a few drones coming in as well for... Oh, is there drones? No, they're moles coming in for a bit of the action. A few Mantis. Outrageous amounts. How much tech point defense has he got in there? He has 5 in there at the moment, which are sweeping and clearing. If we just zoom out to look at the actual sort of definitions of the units in terms of the outside of the unit and the symbols, to be able to see the incursion far more easily. Softly being pushed totally off the land bridge in the centre. And this cannot work. Surely this can't work. Shields buckle under the strain. Galactic Fear losing all of his shield coverage. He has Zui's and a Tech 3 air defense in there as well. Missiles flying all over the place. This is akin to the battle, I swear. Well, I can't say it's too similar to the Battle of Thermopylae because there's no choke point, but the numbers would certainly speak to Galactic Fear in terms of him being the Spartan army right in the centre, being attacked by pretty much everybody. Softly, Laneless TML com in the water, just advising Bladir that he has a tactical missile commander lurking somewhere there. He's not in the water anymore. Softly being pushed back. I'm going to go back to full screen to concentrate on this. I can't actually believe what I am seeing. Galactic Fear, have I missed something? Bladir filtering his units down from every angle. We have at the back here Pachuriko now balancing ASFs against a smatter of Tech 1 units. Interestingly enough, Blackheart deciding that he's not going to get involved in conquest of Galactic Fear. Actually, Blackheart being uncharacteristically quiet. Is an attack bomber coming out at the moment. He's certainly got the mass for it, drawing, well, you know, Bladir mass heavy at the moment, but he's certainly not the man with the least mass on the map. Some air support lingering in the form of Pascal at the back. Not seeing a great deal from this game, which is surprising. There's not really been any sort of air engagements, probably because Pachuriko has been stuck at the back here, concentrating on Galactic Fear. I cannot believe, despite him being a Tech 3 commander, there just aren't strong enough units to take down the Tech 2 point defence's range. Bladir's commander sitting pretty in the water there. What's Bladir's answer going to be? He's getting some Salems up to harass the shields, which is probably the best move he could make at this present moment. Does he have tactical missile defense in the mix? Interestingly, I can't see any TMD in there. He's got anti-air, he's got Tech 2 point defense, but he doesn't actually have any TMD. He does have the missile upgrade from his commander, and that missile I'm sure is going to be going for Bladir's mass points. And yes, absolutely, Bladir going from 135 down to 84 mass. Galactic Fear has not only established his proxy base, he's crippling his opposite's economy as well. The North Naval Pawn, he has got, Galactic Fear has got a few naval units in the mix down here. His base is pretty much non-existent. He's having to prioritize everything to the proxy base at the north. Bladir looking increasingly menacing in terms of numbers. This is I don't cast settings very often because there are just too many settings games out there. But this one, I have to say, I've seen proxy drops up here. I've seen them down here, surprisingly. I've even seen them be brought across and actually dropped in this little crevice here. But I have never seen a proxy base put in the middle of 3 players before, and so far survived. The Salem, which is now finished, and a few of Vipers harassing Galactic Fear. He's having to actually spread his Zuis out to the western side of that proxy base. It's pretty much the Galactic Fear show at the moment. If I slow it down and just focus on what else is going on the rest of the map, is softly diverting all of his attention up north. Perhaps what he's thinking is if they can get rid of Galactic Fear up here, that means Bladir can filter his navy down and unhinge the mighty Laneless, which is sat on the land bridge at the moment. My apologies for sounding particularly out of breath and nasally today. For whatever reason, I have a blocked nose once again, probably either due to the British weather or other factors, I'm sure. And finally, a convergence of Pachuriko's unity. And he has a real smattering of Medusas, which are going to get ranged by that Tech 2 point defense. A cheeky flyby Tech 3 spy plane there from Pascal. I cannot be seeing this, surely not. Bring this back up to real time again. This is now convergence of 3 armies at once. Despite Pachuriko having been hurt pretty badly, Softly and Bladir, this surely can't stand up to that amount. He has the Salem's wailing away. Those shields are going to buckle shortly, surely. That commander battle coming it to the bitter end. The wailing away of Medusas, slamming into those Tech 2 shields. A gun on the brink of collapse. We've got bombing runs here from Blackheart. Oh, Galactic Fear was fighting within an inch of his life. Those bombers being taken down by the Tech 3 air defense. You're going to have to contribute more Blackheart. I do see in my secondary monitor the Blackheart is amassing a navy. I'm going to have to zoom out and show you guys Laneless creeping on Softly's doorstep at the bottom of the, I say the top of the land bridge. But I'm afraid my attention is all on the front here. The big battle. I say the front, it's really, I would say, the back. It's not the front lines at all. Although Galactic Fear has established his front lines very differently. What amazes me is the fact that he's sustained this, and this can only be sustained, judging by his economy, which is low, to say the least, very low. 91 mass coming in compared to Blackheart's 202, Pascal's 274. I could only imagine he has been gifted a lot of economy to sustain this base, which is advisable, seeing it has attracted the attention of 3 Team 1 players, Softly sitting at the front, softly as it were, having not really harassed Laneless whatsoever. Laneless pretty much free reign, given the Foley has managed to push up his navy and cover off Blackheart. We slow things down. Far too much excitement. Far too much going on. If we have a look at Blackheart's navy and see what he's got, he has a couple of destroyers in there, majority of 30 frigates. Actually, a real great deal of subs in there. He's gone frigate heavy for sure. We switch that over to Foley's. We zoom out to get all of them. He's got 29 frigates in the mix. And 2 destroyers, funnily enough. So it's matching up to be a pretty even Stevens battle at the bottom of it. You can see actually the little marks that are left here by Team 2. We actually switch over. I'm not sure whether you can see any marks given by Team 1. No, you can't. But we'll keep an eye. I will be sure not to miss any naval battle happening at the bottom. We'll bring it back up to speed. Take it out of slow motion mode. Apologies for the sniffling, but it is incredibly annoying for me as well. 3 Salems now raging those point defense and hammering on those shields. All 3 of them. Look at the wrecks, the reclaim, and just this this area of complete blackness around Galactic Fear's base. We do have an incursion I can see coming, so I'm going to have a look down here as well. Huge overcharge from Laneless, trying to take that and that. Shield, Cerberus wailing away, Mantis coming in to sort out the hopper tanks, and Tham Spam is coming in from, actually no, I say Tham Spam, he's only got a few in there. And it looks as if Bladir has had enough. He's moving in slowly but surely, getting a couple of his units tagged by the point defense. GalaticFear saying my base will die soon. Need to make Ythota. Before that, he's getting it. Surely not. There has to be a solution for this. I know he's getting his economy pumped right now, namely probably from Pascal. If we have a look at GalaticFear as to what his economy is, he's getting crippled. This power draining rapidly. And he is getting dumped absolutely all the time. You look at his economy. That economy is being sustained rather than managed by Galactic himself. Bladir having spotted the Ythota. What is the solution going to be? I don't know whether Bladir is going to be able to manage. He's got to keep his stream of units up to scratch. Softly bringing his units back down. He's got to deal with his own problems in the form of Nibelosky. The naval battle at the bottom still looking fairly stagnant. Blackheart surprisingly not diving into helping Bladir at the back. He's deciding that he's going to maintain, although I don't think Blackheart really has a choice. Make sure my microphone's nice and steady. A cruiser wailing away. Is softly in trouble. I'm not sure that he is at the moment. He's got his units coming in to support. Is that Ythota nearly up? And those Salems are about to have a bad day. As that Ythota is definitely going west. You've got a strap bomber coming out, killing off the cruisers that's currently harassing the shields. Bladir. Oh no, Bladir, that's not a great idea. Although, I'm going to say that Ythota's not interested in betting on those Medusas. You're going straight in for those Salems because those shields are on the brink of collapsing. Surely those can't hang on for much longer. And that is going to kill off the big threat from the west. Let's have a look at the back. There's not really great form of the air, and that is why. I was going to say I haven't seen a great deal of ASF coverage because the megalith is being made at the back. And that Ythota has tidied these Salems out from this sort of curve over here. Bladir's commander looking around. He's decided very wisely to pop himself in the ocean. You need to be quite deep though, Bladir, be careful. And those cruisers unhinging softly at the front started so well, but he's now being pushed back and Nibelosky. Oh, goodness me, is that commander? There's a Vet 2 commander. What has he got on it? He's got the Raz upgrade, Tech 2 and the Accelerator. And Softly's commander looking in a spot of trouble. He's going to keep an eye on that Ythota. He's being pulled back. Not sure whether Softly are going to get out of there. He's holding fast though. A great skirmish between these two players. I say Foley, it's what am I talking about? Softly. Softly does it, softly. I will remind everybody that is watching, might be thinking to yourself.
Connection lost. Connected.
Oh, there I go off TeamSpeak, and there I come back again. You might be thinking to yourself, well, how could Softly ever let this happen? How could he let that incursion get to his base and get his base in this kind of state? You've got to remember, these players are the top rank. When you're being harassed from, well, I say north and south, mostly south, but he had to divert to try and kill this off. You leave yourself exposed to Nibelosky, who I know takes no prisoners. And we are having, oh, that naval battle maybe happening, sometimes happening, I'm not sure. It's just too much to focus in on. I wish I had a triple screen split, because I would like to see what's going on with the Commander's naval battle and Galactic Fear, all in a tidy line here. The main battles, Softly's Commander still hanging in there, surrounded by the dark green grey colour that is Laneless. ASS being pulled up from Pascal to get rid of the fighter bombers, and it does look as Pachuriko, he's got the ASFs 41 against Pascal, who's just run away with his economy, mainly because he hasn't had really much to do. He's got 101 ASFs. Slow this back down. Blackheart looking more dominant in the South Pond, has to be said. We'll have to see how this pans out. Pascal just, yeah, filtered economy. Great mass though, surprising given given the amount of time Pascal has had. I'm almost certain he's been filtering Galactic with economy, but that's not really what I wanted to see. I wanted to see his mass points. A smattering of Tech 3, but I'd imagine by 25 minutes he should have more than that, but I think that's probably down to the fact that he's been assisting Softly's base. Pretty much gone. Bladir, absolutely furious, has got to this stage. The Love Experimental, aptly renamed from Galactic, hammering away at the massive amount of spam Bladir has filtered out. Perhaps a monkey wouldn't have gone amiss, I'm not sure, but a second Yathota is up, which is very timely as the megalith to the right has just started, so we have a really cool brewing battle in the form of experimental.
Connection lost.
Oh, there goes my... I'm going to have to slow this down because I'm not missing a thing. I'm sorry, I'm going to disconnect from TeamSpeak. I am sorry, I forgot it was on. There we go. Okay. Right. Back into the heat of the action from the advert break, and Softly's Commander, 24 minutes. Off he goes into the Commander Heaven. Away from Team 1. And that is the first casualty of the game. The lurking, lunging, 110,000 hit points of Megalith being pinged. I'm going to have to pop it back up to +1 just to get things moving again. And I was wondering why Bladir started filtering his units down. Of course, he saw the threat. He knew that he had to cover off front, and Laneless's commander, with his smattering of Tech 2 Yenzis. He's covered that off quite comprehensively. He's constantly filtering down. He knows that Galactic's having to counter that Megalith, who's going to be able to keep the Yathotas at range. Foley looking as if he's pulling his troops up because of the cruiser fire hitting the front of Laneless's base. Laneless quite far forward. Very far forward. I understand Blackheart does have the responsibility of making sure this white blob at the bottom here doesn't reach his shores, but we do finally have that engagement, and the Megalith retreating, backstepping, dancing, but not far enough. And will that Megalith survive? I don't know whether it will. It does such massive damage on every hit, but the charm of the Megalith is not in its damage, it's in its range. That might be an expensive mistake, Pachuriko, and it does look that Megalith is going to drop. And a rank up in veterancy for his troubles for the Love Heart number 1 and the Love Heart number 4 down here. Oh, jeez. I can see the frustration of why Blackheart wants to move on. Galactic just sat bossing his base in the centre here, and he's got 2 Yathotas heading towards Pachuriko's base. I'm keeping an eye on this naval engagement at the bottom. Let's just make sure we don't miss any of the good stuff from down here. A few battleships harassing Foley's navy down there. No naval battles to speak of so far. And oh lord, the amount of reclaim that is going to be in that base shortly. Pachuriko's commander giving the finger to the Yathotas and saying, I'm off. You've already caused way too much issue. I am going to go hang out, I assume, in Blackheart's base. And that naval engagement finally happening at the bottom here, but it looks as if Blackheart, holding firm to tradition, has been the only player on his team to really, I say win, in inverted commas here, his naval engagement. The reason I say in inverted commas is that he's never going to be able to win lest I see a miracle from happening. He has looked as if he's won this naval engagement down here, but who knows, the frigates might hold firm with the destroyers at the back. There's a few hover tanks down there as well. I'm going to go back because those Yathotas are doing nothing but cleaning at the moment. GalaticFear with a 3rd Yathota and hitting the commander of Blackheart, and Blackheart being forced between a rock and a hard place. 2 Thistles and a Yathota. Oh god. Which way would you rather go out? In a ball of flaming magnetism or an exploding torpedo? Well, in the end he decided both. That's Blackheart ejected at 28 minutes. I've come away from the naval battle at the bottom here. Let's just follow this massive naval engagement. Yeah, that's not the money shot for the game, I don't know what is. I have taken the screenshot for the thumbnail already, so I'm afraid it won't be that you're seeing. Oh my god! I stand corrected, he's got a good couple of battle cruisers in there as well. The battleships, I love watching, never get to see them. Oh no, Pachuriko! I didn't see, I think Pachuriko brought his commander down. There's an absence of there is... Hang on a second. He did exactly what I thought. I thought I noticed something in my peripheral. Pachuriko decided he was going to beat his naval player. He definitely was going to not beat his naval player, his air player, his opposite air in the form of Baskel. He wasn't going to beat him, but he was damned as hell going to make sure that he got rid of his air force. And what I think happened was he brought his commander down, and instead of just dropping him off in the base, he brought him down, and the ASFs bumped into him, and the nuke explosion took them out. And who will be a victor of the South Pond? All share, I forgot to mention, is on, but I don't think it's going to do Blackheart a great deal of difference. A battleship in the form of summits coming in, but it's all going to be for nothing. GalaticFear MVP, triple Yathota coming down into Blackheart's base with a little veterancy, I'm sure, for Galactic's troubles. I cannot believe that worked. I am going to start naming my games by what sort of happens in the game itself, because I think my name games are a little bit boring, so I am going to change them ever so slightly to start a more sort of interesting series of replays, but bang! There goes Mr. Blackheart. And there goes Team 1's hopes of ever getting Galactic Fear out of that base. Oh goodness, we'll get rid of that desync message. And there we have it, folks. That is a base you need to build, apparently, to hold off 4 top-ranked players. Outrageous, absolutely outrageous tactics. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. MVP, of course, goes to Galactic Fear. I just can't believe it worked. Very, very good. As always, I am looking for suggestions. I had other casters are going to laugh at this admission because I'm sure they get this all the time, but I had my first message for a replay request only a couple of days ago, and I'm very grateful for it. But if you guys message me on YouTube, I read everything. If you want a request, perhaps you're a newish player and you fancy seeing yourself being casted on YouTube, please pop them in a message to me, and I would love to cast some subscribers replays. In fact, I have some speciality matches coming up fairly soon. I'm just hoping I get them into fruition. But yes, if I could get a subscriber match happening and to highlight how much I appreciate all of you that have subscribed, I would absolutely love to do so. But in any case, that is Nibelosky done for replays today. So thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you next time.